When a large group of soldiers passed through, the calamity they brought was worse than that of thieves. Thieves could be dealt with, but people dared not offend soldiers. One difference between soldiers and thieves was that soldiers wouldn't casually kill people. In the year of Jia Yin, the three rebels initiated a rebellion. The army sent to suppress the rebellion in the south rested and recuperated in Yanzhou prefecture. They plundered wealth and violated women. Coinciding with days of continuous rain, fields were flooded, turning into lakes. The common people had nowhere to flee, so they climbed over walls and hid in fields with high crops. The soldiers, aware of this, would enter the water on horseback, naked, to seek out women for violation. Few were lucky enough to escape. However, Zhang's wife was not afraid and adamantly refused to leave home. In their not-so-large house, she and her husband dug a deep pit at night, embedding sharp bamboo spears at the bottom. They covered the pit opening with straw mats and then laid a mat on top, making it appear as a sleeping place. Zhang's wife cooked calmly in the kitchen. When the soldiers arrived, she would come out and offer them food. At one point, 2 Mongolian soldiers demanded aggressively to violate her. She responded, "How can such a thing be done openly? Are you two going to watch each other?" One of them smiled and mumbled, inviting her to go outside. She and the soldier entered the designated room, and she pointed to the mat, gesturing for him to go up first. The result was that the mat was torn, and the soldier fell into the pit. She quickly covered the pit with the mat and intentionally stood by the door, enticing the other soldier. In a while, the other soldier entered, hearing someone scream but not knowing where it came from. The woman waved and said, "Over here, over here." This soldier stepped onto the mat and also fell into the pit. The woman then threw firewood and straw into the pit and set it on fire. The flames grew rapidly, and the entire house caught fire. The woman even cried for help to extinguish the fire. After the fire was put out, the foul smell of burnt bodies spread. People asked about the smell, and she replied, "I was afraid the soldiers would take away my 2 pigs. So I hid them in the cellar and accidentally burned them to death." Afterwards, Zhang's wife took up needlework and sat by the roadside of a desolate road, a few miles away from the village, where not even a tree was in sight. The village was far from the city, and the soldiers who came were mostly on horseback. They would pass in groups, making odd and lewd remarks. Although she couldn't understand them very well, she knew they were vulgar words meant to ridicule her. Due to the proximity to the main road and the lack of cover, they usually just teased her and moved on after a couple of remarks. Thus, several days went by without incident. One day, a soldier arrived. He was shameless and immediately attempted to violate her under the scorching sun. She smiled, not refusing, but secretly used a needle to prick his horse. The horse neighed and bolted, and the soldier tied the reins to his leg, attempting to embrace the woman. Suddenly, she stabbed the horse's neck with a shoemaker's awl. The horse, in pain, galloped away. The reins couldn't be untied quickly, so the soldier was dragged for dozens of miles before being stopped by other soldiers. The soldier's head and body were nowhere to be found, but one leg remained on the reins, relatively intact.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.